As far as protein training for the swimmers, you know, in some regards, you got to treat them like any other athlete that you have walking around on campus, and then there's definitely a certain percentage of our training that we try to really gear towards them specifically, both in terms of different injury predispositions they might be exposed to. So you have a ton of shoulder issues, things like that. Working in strength conditioning for a couple of years. I've always pretty much been involved with our swim program here, and really got a lot more involved this past year with Cody Miller kind of coming off of his knee injury off the last season. A lot more of my background is kind of in return to training off of injury, kind of individualized training for individuals who are dealing with injury and stuff like that. I've known Cody for a couple of years, and so he asked me to get a lot more involved in his own training. From there, it was a couple of months, and we were working together, and things were going pretty well. Obviously, he's doing pretty awesome now. So after that, the coaching staff asked me to take on the full strength training of all of our post-grad swimmers here. So we have quite a few now, and really since then, just things have kind of kept snowballing from there and gotten more and more involved in the swimming world. I was never a swimmer. I came from cross-country, track and field as an athlete here, but obviously they're kind of first cousins, so it wasn't the worst thing to transition over to, but just kind of fell in love with the group here and been working with them ever since. I would say the biggest challenge for preparing a swimmer is probably just the year-round load in the pool. There's a lot of things that no matter how much you're doing in the weight room, they're always doing way more in the water. So whether it's from a posture standpoint or you're trying to fix imbalances, it can be pretty tricky when you just have that year-round grind going. That's also makes it fun because you have to get pretty creative and pretty unique in your preparation with them because you're dealing with a really unique population. When they first get on campus and they're kind of earlier in their career, we spend a lot of time just working on some of those kind of big basic movements. So can you squat, can you hinge, can you lift on single leg, and kind of really refining and making sure they have sort of those baseline movements down. And kind of where my specialty came in and why I work with the pros is that we're able to get a lot more specified in their training and work them towards more advanced types of lifting in dry land. So with that being said, most of the guys are in about 3 times a week. I mean, they can lift a lot of weight and they can lift it fast, and I mean, from there, it just gets more and more specific for the person depending on their training history. Everyone's kind of unique and individual in that way, and so that's kind of the reason that we wanted to create that kind of separate pro group, so that after they've gone through 4 or 5 years of kind of that building that base in our program, we're able to be super specific in what we do with that athlete so that we can prepare them to win medals.